Now, we covered Trump, causing chaos in Europe, and all the different NATO allies are behind Greenland. Well, boy, they have really came out and talking about Trump, and this is great. This is so great, brothers and sisters. I want you to hear, this is going to be from several European leaders out in the UK. You're going to have the EU chairperson. You're going to have the Prime Minister of Canada and I think the Swedish lady. I want y'all to listen to everything they're saying about Trump. Boy, this is great.
President Trump is acting like an international gangster, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of an ally, threatening the end of NATO altogether, and now threatening to hit our country and 7 European allies with outrageous, damaging tariffs unless he gets his hands on Greenland. This is an incredibly grave moment for the United Kingdom, Europe, and our world. Without provocation or justification, the President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security. Trump has put British businesses and jobs on the front line in his unprovoked aggression. The only people cheering him on are Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Only a few months ago, Trump hailed the special relationship at Windsor Castle. Now, thanks to his actions, it is nearly in tatters. So how do we stop Trump's damaging trade war? For a year now, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has tried a policy of appeasing Trump, flattering him, fawning over him, refusing to stand up to him, because, he argued, otherwise Trump would hit us with damaging tariffs. Well, the Prime Minister has tested his approach to destruction. It has failed. It is time for the government to change course. We have to finally be clear-eyed about the sort of man Trump is and treat him accordingly. He is a bully. He thinks he can grab whatever he wants, using force if necessary. And he is corrupt. The most corrupt president the United States has ever seen. So there are only 2 ways of getting him to back down: bribing him with a new jet perhaps, or a few billion in his crypto account, or standing up to him like we would with any other bully, standing together with our European allies to make him back down. That's the choice. Which one, Foreign Secretary?
We knew the story of the international rules-based order was partially false, that the strongest would exempt themselves when convenient, that trade rules were enforced asymmetrically. And we knew that international law applied with varying rigor depending on the identity of the accused or the victim. This fiction was useful, and American hegemony in particular helped provide public goods, open sea lanes, a stable financial system, collective security, and support for frameworks for resolving disputes. So we placed the sign in the window. We participated in the rituals, and we largely avoided calling out the gaps between rhetoric and reality. This bargain no longer works. Let me be direct. We are in the midst of a rupture, not a transition. Over the past 2 decades, a series of crises in finance, health, energy, and geopolitics have laid bare the risks of extreme global integration. But more recently, great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage, financial infrastructure as coercion, supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited. You cannot live within the lie of mutual benefit through integration when integration becomes the source of your subordination.
The European Union and the United States have agreed to a trade deal last July. And in politics, as in business, a deal is a deal. And when friends shake hands, it must mean something. Ladies and gentlemen, we consider the people of the United States not just our allies, but our friends. And plunging us into a downward spiral would only aid the very adversaries we are both so committed to keeping out of the strategic landscape. So our response will be unflinching, united, and proportional.
I think it's sad and totally absurd that we have an American president who's blackmailing the rest of us, trying to get a piece of land or buy it through threats. It's a new low, so to speak. My message today will be that let's stand together. Let's put pressure back on the US, of course. And this is absolutely, totally not we will never back down. So that's my message. And I will try to see that we all stick together in this issue because, as I said, this is a new low.
So you heard all those world leaders. They are very nervous. And it's interesting that one man can cause this much chaos to these world leaders. Also, you look at their alliance and they're like, oh, we so strong. And how is it that one man can cause this much chaos? One. You call him an international gangster. You call him a bully. The Prime Minister of Canada, he's getting really bold. And I'm very interested to see what Trump's retaliation going to be to that. Because, once he get word of that, or Trump man, I already know. You have the lady from the EU, the Swedish people, they all talking about Trump. And Trump's saying it don't have to be like that. Just sell me Greenland, and that's to be the end of it. It won't be an issue or a problem. I need it, but but really, technically, Trump and the United States have a base on Greenland. They say, look, you want another base? Put it over there. We don't care. We're just not going to, have Greenland. And so they at each other's throat behind a small piece of land that only 50-some-odd-thousand people are on. Now, what Trump is doing, he's being a man of chaos. And I told y'all before, this is good for black folk globally, because if they fighting each other, they not fighting us. You got to think about all the chaos that Europe has caused in the African continent and all the chaos these people have caused on us. So it is always good to see them, not in any kind of alliances, because when they get in alliances, they're going to focus on attacking somebody. And it's definitely not going to be each other. But Trump, being the man of chaos that he is, let's see what Europe is going to do about it. Let's see. Because what I'm hearing, they talking about basically doing this anti-coercion act thing they have. They say that's their trade bazooka. And basically, from what they're saying it would be is like limiting American investment into the EU, and doing things like messing with American companies, not letting them operate and all of that. Man, American companies go through a lot doing any kind of business in the EU, putting VAT taxes and all kinds of things they do, and all these rules that the EU have. So, that's the only way they probably can hit at you. Say, okay, well, Facebook, you can't do no work over here. Amazon or, OpenAI or whatever the case may be, right? American companies. But outside of that, and Trump can retaliate with more tariffs. He can retaliate all kind of ways. So they can literally get in a trade war, tariff war, back and forth. Literally, that's technically a war, but just economic war. And when we cross over into actual physical war, because, Trump is not going to back down. You already know how he is. He want to get his way. And a lot of times they'll do all that tough talk, and then a lot of times they cave. But hey, brothers and sisters, this is a good thing for us. This is a very, very good thing for us, because them being together has caused chaos for black folk. And them being in each other's throat, that's the time they're leaving us alone. That's why I tell black people, watch, observe, and build in the midst of the chaos. Build. The chaos he got in America and the chaos he got through the world. He is a man of chaos. And we definitely will keep an eye on it. But trust me, it is a blessing. It's a blessing, folks. This is what Trump is blessing us more than what you think with the chaos he's causing. And let's see how, our black folks are going to approach this time. Because this time is an interesting time. And trust me, 2026, Trump been in office technically 1 year. Just one. He got 3 more years to go. 3 more. He's starting year 2. 3 more years to go. And he caused that much chaos in 1 year. Can you imagine by the time he get out of office, how the world's going to be? Boy, it's interesting.